All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a really powerful idea, a human-centered way to recognize the skills of migrants. These are skills that so often get missed by the usual systems, but they're absolutely essential for people trying to build a new life.
Yeah, this feeling, it's just so common. Imagine arriving in a totally new country. You don't have the right papers, maybe not the right local experience, and it's easy to feel like you're starting from square one. But here's the thing, that feeling, it often masks this incredible depth of unrecognized talent and hard-won experience.
And that leads us to the big question, right? What if the problem isn't a lack of skills at all? What if it's the system that's just not built to see them? So we're going to look at a whole new process that's designed to uncover all that competence, not just gloss over it.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we'll look at the invisible skills problem. Then, we'll talk about a big shift in thinking. After that, we'll see how a personalized pathway gets built, check out the key role of the practitioner as a coach, and finally, tie it all together from recognition to real opportunities.
All right, let's get right into it. Part 1, the invisible skills problem. This really gets to the heart of the challenge that so many people face when they try to find work in a new country. So the problem really isn't about a lack of talent or ability. Not at all. It's that the systems we have in place, well, they're kind of rigid. They're looking for specific diplomas, a straight-line career path, and they just aren't set up to see the incredible skills people gain from, say, informal work, running a household, or even just the experience of migrating itself. And the fallout from this? It's huge. You've got really talented people being funneled into jobs that are way below what they can do. They get told you have to start from zero, go back to school, and that's just so frustrating. It crushes motivation, and let's be clear, this isn't just a loss for that one person. It's a huge waste of potential for everyone, for the whole society.
So, what's the answer? Well, it starts with a really fundamental shift in how we think about this. We have to stop seeing skills validation as just some bureaucratic checklist you have to get through.
Instead of thinking of it as a one-shot pass-or-fail test, this new approach sees it as a journey. It's a process of discovery, with support all along the way. It's something that happens over time, and the whole point is to build confidence and help people take the wheel and shape their own future. And this slide just lays it out so clearly, doesn't it? The old way is all fragmented. You've got validation over here, training over there, job services somewhere else. It's disconnected. It's really just a technical procedure, and it tends to zero in on what you don't have. But the new way? It's an integrated journey, an empowering pathway that flips the script and starts by asking, okay, what are this person's strengths?
Okay, so how do we actually build this personalized pathway? This is where the rubber meets the road, where we turn this great idea into something real and practical.
And this right here is the absolute key. You don't start by asking to see a diploma. No. You start by listening to their story, their journey, their experiences at work. And hey, that includes unpaid work too, their goals. That's the foundation for uncovering their skills. It's about valuing the entire person, not just a piece of paper.
So this pathway is on a lookout for two kinds of skills. First up, you've got cognitive skills. These are kind of what we traditionally think of, right? Your technical knowledge, your problem-solving abilities, how good you are with computers, that kind of stuff.
But, and this is so important, it also looks for what we call non-cognitive skills. I mean, think about it. The sheer resilience, the adaptability, the creative problem-solving you develop just by migrating and starting a new life, these are absolute gold to employers, but they're the kinds of things that never, ever show up on a standard resume. So this breaks down the 4 main steps perfectly. You start with the person with a real conversation. Then you map out all their experiences, not just the formal jobs. Step 3, you use flexible methods, maybe interviews or even simulations, not just a rigid test. And finally, and this is critical, you link everything to a real outcome, whether that's a job or a specific training course. Now, a process like this, it needs a different kind of professional running it. You can't just have someone who's an assessor, ticking boxes on a clipboard. They have to become a coach. Yeah, their role completely transforms. They go from being a judge of skills to a guide for self-discovery. A big part of their job is helping people rebuild their professional identity, which, let's face it, can take a real hit during the whole migration process. They're a facilitator, an advisor. Ultimately, they're there to empower. And one of the biggest tools in their toolkit is feedback. But it has to be the right kind of feedback,
It's got to be timely so you can actually use it. It needs to be specific. Not just good job, but here's what I saw you do really well. It has to be balanced, pointing out strengths and also areas to grow. And super important, it has to be culturally sensitive because not everyone communicates the same way.
So the takeaway here is that this whole coaching thing, it's not just some nice-to-have add-on. It's absolutely essential. It directly addresses the emotional and psychological hurdles, the uncertainty, the self-doubt that can totally stop someone in their tracks. It's about rebuilding confidence and motivation so they can keep moving forward.
Okay, last section. Let's bring this all home and connect the dots to what really matters in the end, turning that skill recognition into real, tangible opportunities.
So once you've made all those hidden skills visible, the next step is super practical. You look at those skills and compare them to what employers in the area are actually looking for. It's a skills gap analysis, but it's not about what's missing. It's about figuring out how to build a bridge. From there, you can recommend some really targeted training and, most importantly, create a concrete, actionable plan to get them to their career goal.
See, this isn't just some academic exercise to list out skills on a piece of paper, because the whole process is integrated. Recognizing the skills flows right into creating opportunities. The entire pathway is designed right from the very beginning to be a practical bridge connecting a person's past to their future career.
And this quote just sums it all up, doesn't it? Skills validation is not only about recognizing competencies, but about supporting people in building their future. It's not a transaction. It's not just about getting a certificate stamped. It's a deeply human process of empowerment, all about helping people build the future they actually want.
You know, this whole approach leaves us with a really big question. And it's not just about supporting migrants, it's for all of us. How can we, in our own communities and our own workplaces, get better at seeing the invisible skills and the hidden potential that's all around us every single day? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. This amazing approach is being developed by the SkillBridge project. If you want to learn more, you can check out their full training manual and all their resources at the website right there on your screen.